Hey survivors, welcome back to Dr. Alejandro's lab. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the game difficulty and what the different difficulties of the game actually mean. This is actually my second take at recording this because my first time where I was showing people how much damage we were doing and how much damage I was taking ended up looking a little bit something like this. There we go. Now that was a huge mistake in just how I had my webcam positioned. We have it fixed now, so I'm re-recording everything because I realized it a little too late. But in 7 Days to Die, difficulty only affects two things, at least in Alpha 19. In Alpha 18 and previous, it had more effects on the game because it also played into game stage modifiers and lots of other things like that. However, in 19, all it really affects is how much damage you do to zombies and how much damage zombies do to you. With the higher the difficulty, the lower damage you do and the more damage you take. So it follows a relatively simple formula overall for everything. Here we have on Nomad difficulty, we have this sniper rifle that does 102 damage. So on Nomad, which is just a 1-to-1 ratio, this is the baseline, it will do 102 damage. Exactly like we expect. And if we have Arlene attack us, Arlene will hit us for 10 damage, the exact amount we expect. So we'll go ahead and blast away Miss Arlene there. So what we have here is we have a baseline of Nomad. Now let's look at what happens when we switch it up to Warrior difficulty. And here we are back at Warrior difficulty. I will say, this difficulty is kind of one of my favorites in the game, because you take more damage from the zombies, but it's not too bad, and they're not really bullet sponges yet. You can still kill them reasonably well. So in Warrior, we still have this sniper rifle doing 102 damage. However, our damage is going to get mitigated a little bit by the difficulty modifier. So here we did 85 damage, which is about 83.333% of the overall damage. Now, with this, we know that Warrior difficulty has a 5/6 damage. So you lose 1/6 of your damage when you're going out to Warrior difficulty. It's not too huge of a drop. You're losing 1/6. It's not too bad. And then, if we let Arlene hit me, Arlene will smack me for 95 damage. So we do a little bit less damage, and zombies do 1.5 times damage. I always like it because it's a really good balance. So we can see the numbers for Warrior difficulty. Now things will start to get a little bit of a jump. Not too much of a jump, but it'll feel like more of a jump when we swap over to Survivalist difficulty. Alright folks, here we are back in the same exact test in Survivalist difficulty. So here's where damage starts dropping off a bit more. And if we shoot with our 102 damage rifle, we get it down to 58, which in this case is 67 damage. It got truncated, rounded down with how damage works in this game. But on Survivalist difficulty, you are doing 2/3 damage, or 4/6 damage, for the sake of keeping everything consistent across all different difficulties. So, Nomad, you're doing full. Warrior, 5/6. Survivalist, 4/6. And then we'll get down to Insane in just a second. So, we are doing only 2/3 damage. Arlene now can come and hit us. And Arlene hits us for 20, which is double damage. So when we get to Survivalist difficulty, zombies are actually hitting for double damage. So zombies and all other entities that are attacking you. So that includes bears, wolves, everything else. This doesn't include block damage. I mentioned this before in a previous video. Block damage does not get multiplied. Because that would be a little bit broken. It would suck, not only for just how easily zombies will get through your bases, but also just how are you going to really be farming resources if you're doing so little damage to things. So luckily, that's not part of the difficulty modifier. So now we're going to get over and look at Insane difficulty. Alright folks, now we're back on Insane, the highest difficulty of the base game. And with this one, we'll see the damage formula kind of follow the same trend as the rest of them. 102 damage rifle does 51 points of damage. So when we go down, we see that Insane difficulty brings us down to 50% damage, or 3/6. So again, we're still following that losing 1/6 damage every difficulty step. So we saw again Nomad full, Warrior 5/6, Survivalist 4/6, Insane 3/6. So every difficulty step up, we were losing 1/6 damage. Also, the damage that zombies do also follow a linear progression. So here, Arlene hit me for 25 damage. Because on Insane difficulty, zombies and everything else do 2.5 times damage. Which, for some of these regular zombies, yes, it's still pretty bad. Armor can mitigate it down a bit. But it still can be pretty bad. However, if you see some really harsh things out there, such as a zombie bear who has a baseline of 50 damage, on Insane is doing 125 damage every swing, makes you realize you really gotta pay attention when you're trying to play an Insane. And don't pick a fight with a zombie bear until you have a full arsenal behind you. But that was a quick look at this. I have everything summarized in my 7 Days to Die datasheet. I'm going to pull that up just to show you the quick table of all the different difficulty values here. We're going to swap over to that, and then we'll be done with everything today. So here we go. Quick look onto my 7 Days to Die datasheet. We can see the information summarized here for everyone. So Nomad, Warrior, Survivalist, Insane. Again, there are the two difficulties that are lower than Nomad, but I'm really not worried about both of them right now. The vast majority of players are playing around these different difficulties. Not too many are actually going into the lower difficulties. But you'll be able to see it summarized here, so you'll be able to keep an idea of exactly how much or how little damage you're really doing when you go up difficulties. And overall, that's all I really wanted to cover quickly today. So thank you guys for hanging out with me, and hope to see you again in my next 7 Days to Die tutorial. Otherwise, thank you very much for coming out to my lab. And this is Dr. Alejandro, signing out.